Hey guys, welcome to the lecture series of Elementary Classical Mechanics, where we embark our journey from basic to advanced physics. This is lecture number 7, part 3 on additions of vector. If you understand how to draw diagrams in vector, then you have understood 50% of the vector addition, which I have taken in the previous lecture. In this lecture, I am going to take the addition and subtraction of vector diagram and procedure, and example to understand it. When we add two numbers, that is how we do it for scalars, like ordinary algebra. But for vectors, the algebra is different. Different, how you ask? Because the components, the magnitude, are all derived from trigonometry and geometry, which we used it as tools for individual directions. Now, there are two methods for addition of vector. The parallelogram method and another by components. Both are easy, but just need to put the values of vectors to get the sum. But before going further on these mathematical operations, let's first understand the diagrams of vector additions. Consider a person walks from point A to B as vector A, then from B to C as vector B. Since we are dealing with displacement, then it will be just the final and initial position. Now we write the sum of vector A and B as C, and that C sum vector or resultant vector will be from tail of first vector to the head of the last vector. Remember this statement. This is how we represent the sum of the vector diagrammatically. Now let us try for three vectors. We add the existing diagram with C vector. Then again the sum of the vector A, B and C will be the vector extending from the tail of the first vector to the head of the C last vector. As long as the resultant or sum vector extend from tail of first vector to the head of the last vector. Now, how we write the subtracted form of vector? You remember that when I told you earlier, when you reverse the direction of the vector, then you get the negative of that vector. So here if we take the previous vector B, then if I reverse the vector B, then you get the resultant vector as plus minus B, which is the vector A minus B vector. And always remember that the resultant vector must be in the form tail of first vector to the head of the last vector. Alright, first we add those vectors by using components of vector. Then we see about parallelogram method. Note that I am not going to derive the latter method, just give you the formula and tell you how to use it. For addition, using components of vector, you need the vector notion. For example, consider two vectors A and B, and we have their vector notion respectively. What we do is add the respective components, such as add all the x components of all the vectors and then add all the y components, and just like that you will get the sum of the resultant vector. You can find the magnitude just using this formula which I have mentioned in the previous lecture in introduction part, or this is basically Pythagoras theorem. The square root of the square of height plus square of base. For example, you can find by using trigonometrics such that for an angle theta of resultant from x-axis, you can write it as tan theta equals to y component divided by the component of x of the resultant vector. Since tan theta is opposite upon adjacent length, then the inverse of tan by transferring we get the angle theta. Let us understand by an example. Now let us go through the example. According to the figure below, the person walks in the maze-like park. If we take the displacement d1 equals to 8 meter at the angle of 60 degrees, then d2 of 10 meters at an angle of 30 degrees. Then goes straight for d3 equals to 5 meters with the angle respect to x-axis, which is 0. And same goes for all. We need to find the net displacement. For this solution, first we join the resultant vector from tail of the first vector d1 to the head of the last vector d3. First step will be to find all the vector notion of d1, d2 and d3 vectors. For that, we have given angle, so first of all the x and y components of d1, which will be equals to d1 cos of 60 degrees. Given that d1 is 8 meters, calculating it will give 4 meter. d1y equals to d1 sine of 60 degrees, which is 4 square root of 3 meters. Similarly for vector d2, this is little tricky. The angle is 30 degrees adjacent to y-axis. Let us take the angle other side of its adjacent to x-axis, which is 60 degrees from 90 minus 30 degrees. Look, if we take the angle clockwise, then the angle we take will be negative, as I have mentioned earlier that the angles are supposed to be taken in counterclockwise direction. Therefore, we have the angle, we just find the x components of d2 cos of negative of 60 degrees plus d2 sine of negative of 60 degrees. Sine of negative theta is negative of sine theta and cos of negative theta will remain unchanged. Calculating vector d2 equals to phi in x direction plus phi square root of 3 in y direction. Now we find d3x, which will be d3 cos of 0 degrees. Therefore we get d3x equals to 5 meters and d3y equals to 0 because sine of 0 is 0. Similarly, vector d3 equals to 5 meters in x direction plus 0 magnitude in y direction, or just 5 meters in x direction. We have all the x components and all the y components of respect to displacement d1, d2 and d3. Let's bring them together. For simplicity, I will reduce the square root form in the simplest case. Now we add all the x components. 4 plus 5 meters equals to 14 in x direction. Then plus all the y components such as 6.9 plus negative of 8.6 plus 0, which we get 1.7 in y direction. These both components are of resultant vector d. Now we need to find the magnitude. The magnitude of the resultant vector d equals to square of x component plus square of y component, which we get it as square root of 198.89. Then we get the magnitude as 14.10 meter. Now the angle, which will be theta, equals to dy upon dx, which is 6.9 degrees in clockwise direction. We write the net displacement of the person, which will be 14 meters at an angle of 6.9 degrees below the horizontal. For parallelogram law, all you need is to find the magnitude of the given two vectors. In our example, we take the two vectors a and b vector. Then what we do is find the magnitude of this vector and need to know the angle between them so that we can use it in the formula. So here the resultant magnitude will be the square root of the squared a squared plus b squared plus 2ab cos theta, which is the angle between the vectors. This is how we use parallelogram law to find the resultant vector in vector addition. Hey, you made through the video. Please click on the floating card to learn about the multiplication of vectors. If you enjoyed the lecture, give a like. If you are really up to learn physics from basic to advanced, please subscribe the channel. Your gracious subscribe will definitely encourage me to work harder and better. Thank you. Till then, stay tuned.